yet in the form of Caribbean Cup champions Mount Pleasant, and that will be seen right here on CVM TV. The Tevin Foster-ridden and Jason DaCosta-trained Dream Catcher ran away with the first classic of the season, the 52nd running of the 1,000 Guineas over 8 furlongs at Caymanas Park on Saturday. Both jockey and trainer were completing a double on the 11-race card.
In the 1,000 Guineas, tailor-made, just the leader. Here is Dream Catcher appearing, and Dream Catcher on the outside now snatches the lead from tailor-made. It is the favorite Dream Catcher beginning to pull away inside the final 16th. Dream Catcher and terrific Tevin Foster. He'll have his second win, and it's the 1,000 Guineas. They take it from tailor-made and giving thanks to the photo. Then Alias Will and Minnehaha.
And that will do it for news and sports for this evening. On behalf of the entire team, do enjoy the rest of your weekend. We now take you live to the Popeyes Challenge Cup. It's JDF versus Mount Pleasant.
Food drink is everything you need to support your family's nutrition. Have it at home or take it with you every day for all-day energy. Lasco Food Drink has your favorite flavors, including low-sugar options, so you sacrifice nothing. Packed with protein, calcium, vitamins, minerals, including iron. Lasco Food Drink is the winning taste and nutrition for your family. Nutrition never tasted so good.
Also try Lascola Soy as a lactose-free alternative.
What is love? Love is when my uncle gave me the money to help start my shop. My auntie and I made her famous recipe even more delicious. And it starts with the best dressed chicken and a little extra love. No, my shop is famous to the people that matter the most to me, my community. So I only serve the best dressed chicken. Raised without antibiotics, it's only the best for my customers. If anyone's going to add something to my best dressed chicken,
it's going to be me.
Only the best can be called the best dressed chicken.
Link. The missing link. Link virtual card. Sign up for Link from your app store. Select cards to activate your virtual card and start shopping.
Lasco Food Drink is everything you need to support your family's nutrition. Have it at home or take it with you every day for all-day energy. Lasco Food Drink has your favorite flavors, including low-sugar options, so you sacrifice nothing. Packed with protein, calcium, vitamins, minerals, including iron. Lasco Food Drink is the winning taste and nutrition for your family. Nutrition never tasted so good.
Also try Lascola Soy as a lactose-free alternative.
Popeyes Challenge Cup, powered by Popeyes, Lasco, Connex, Best Dressed Chicken, Red Stripe, Mackay Security.
Back to the action here at the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex for the Popeyes Challenge Cup 2026. The second semi-final has the Jamaica Defence Force FC versus Mount Pleasant FC. For the entirety of this competition, the narrative of David versus Goliath has been the undertone of every match. But this matchup perhaps has the greatest disparity in financial resources and perhaps footballing pedigree, you could say. The Caribbean champions go face-to-face with a Tier 2 team in this matchup. Of course, in yesteryears, Jamaica Defence Force, they have won the top flight title in the island of Jamaica, but that has been many moons ago. But the marching men from Upper Camp, Jamaica, will love to upset the more fancied opponents, the big money opponents, the academy of all, Mount Pleasant. The marching men, they are in white and grey, and can they spray passes and fire arrows that will bring down the more fancied opponents decked in blue and white. Dean Smith, with me is Dwight Jeremiah. You don't have a David and Goliath matchup bigger than this one. We pause for the anthem of Jamaica. Well, the rally cry of a nation. The soldiers still at attention. Big matchup, this one. They have slain a former Caribbean champion in the form of Cavalier. Then they took down the hometown team of Arnett Guards on their own turf. Can the JDF strike once more? Dean Smith, with me is Dwight Jeremiah.
It's now up to the
What say you?
Well, I say they will believe they can. And who am I to say they can't? They've certainly done that in the two scalps that they've taken before. Massive scalps. You see the referees just going through the formalities of coin toss and players deciding who kicks off first, which side. But yeah, the Jamaica Defence Force for sure will feel the Cinderella story, the David Goliath narrative. They have certainly delivered it.
Here's the lineup for them. Ben Mordecai Gibbs in goal. Kamar Drake, Keena Sadler, Tejon Williams, a lieutenant, Shamar Roden, Tevin Cheese, Brandon Lee Thompson, Mark Mohan, Devonta Francis, Anjay Gale, and Kambuji Makala.
You see two changes to the team that downed Arnett Gardens here. Cheats coming in along with Makala in the starting lineup.
Let's look at Mount Pleasant starting lineup. Kamar Foster in goal. Fitzroy Cummins, who had a blind of a shot against Chapelton Maroons in their quarterfinal matchup. DeMarcus Smith, Joshua Anglin, Daniel Green, among others. The Army men, they are ready to march.
We look at this Mount Pleasant team, and I saw them earlier in the league. I think it was against Limehall, and it had a youthful look about them. But you can see the seriousness for them here, because certainly a strong lineup for them, and they won't want to be embarrassed by a championship team. And you talk about their fortunes literally, and also their pedigree as well. As we see them taking their team shots here, they'll certainly want to get into the finals here, having missed out on the finals in the Premier League. And they're the Caribbean Cup champions as well, so certainly want to live up to their name and their pedigree, as you would have it. Both teams got here by way of penalties, so if it were to go there tonight, not strange areas for them. And the Army men, we expect for them to come out in this rain blazing, and no pun intended in terms of what took place last night, but certainly they have done well. And we've said it throughout that any team equipped with the ammunition to down any opponent, it would be the Army men. Whether or not these opponents tonight would have come prepared enough to deal with all the ammunition coming from the JDF tonight is another matter. If you were to bet on it, you'd say Mount Pleasant for sure. But as we just saw with Molynes and Mobay, in knockout football, anything goes.
Anything is possible. That's the beauty of knockout football. And will we see a big upset here? The Army men immediately being forced to do some defending. Quick attack from Mount Pleasant FA. And the goalkeeper, Ben Mordecai Gibbs, already needing some medical attention. For those who are wondering, JDF FC, all the players are actual soldiers. And we'll give you much more information on some of these players. Though they are soldiers now in their former life, many of them spent time in the Premier League with different teams. And we have a few who have actually won the Jamaica Premier League. And we speak specifically of Kemar Drake, the captain. Well, one of the JDF players to have won it. So lots of quality on show. But here's Alex Marshall for Mount Pleasant FA. Trying to dazzle. Already being hounded by two Army men. And the call does go the way of the Mount Pleasant attacker in Alex Marshall. Experienced Jermaine Yeesing, the first assistant. And a set piece for Mount Pleasant. How can they write their story from this opportunity? Lifted in the area, and it's headed away. Kambunji Makala couldn't keep it in play.
Yeah, I expect them to defend stoutly. They did well en route here. 2 clean sheets. That's the hallmark of their team in this knockout football, that they have managed to keep teams out. And when Arnett played them, they did deal with all the crosses in the box. They have some big men there. But they're up against a very formidable attack in this Mount Pleasant team. The second most potent attack in the JPL just completed, behind Montego Bay United, as we saw were down just now. Couldn't find enough goals on the night. Scored some 79 goals in the Premier League regular season. Did Mobay, Mount Pleasant, 10 behind them.
Here's Sadler for JDF. Goes all the way back. The central defender who launches forward. Here's promising attack for the Army men. Snuffed out all the danger there. The team from Mount Pleasant. And now Shaquille Dyer gets it to Fitzroy Cummins, who had a wonder strike, you could say. Perhaps an uncharacteristic strike for him.
Well, it certainly was vital, that for sure, in getting them here.
Here's Cummins on the ball. Daniel Green under some amount of pressure. Here's Anglin, gets it back to Green, back to Anglin. He lifts it over, and still pressure mounting from a Mount Pleasant perspective as they continue to show their class and quality. Forced back somewhat, but certainly not beyond the mantra of how they play. Kessler Anderson,
yeah, like
was thinking about drawing for the card.
Yeah, telling him that's it. Don't want any of those challenge with the weather here. But that was firm, and they did get physical against Arnett. Young charges. They will look to do the same here, no doubt. Defensively solid, they want to be physically assertive in this contest.
Poor pass that gave away possession. Marshall on it now. Can he marshal the troop from St. Anne? Ball booted away. Cummings. Green. Get some space. Bundled over. The challenge that had to be made. And it was made by Tevin Cheese.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they would have done their homework on Green, because he cut inside, he was going to let fly. Cheese, a former captain of Dintel High School, went to the Brent Francis Cup final and the Costa Cup semi-finals in 2017. And the Costa Cup semi-finals in 2018. Certainly a problem here for JDF. They want to get physical, they want to play a physical game, but have to be very, very careful of giving up free kicks like this one.
Just about 20 yards away. And that was
20
more
yards
than
over
20 yards away from the goal.
Yeah, not a good one from Green there, just got too much under it.
Donovan Dennison, former Army man himself, had the unique distinction of actually coaching two teams in a final on one evening. One team lost, and this Army team here won.
Yeah.
That was, I think, in 2024, 2025.
Probably giving more to the Army team since he's an Army man.
Or perhaps they gave him more.
That too.
But it's certainly a very unique feat. I remember tracking it on social media while it happened, and I said, wow, that must have taken some work.
Well, at least he got some success on the night.
Can he bring some big success too?
Yeah, Lee Thompson on the floor here, needing treatment.
Two Army men shown yellow cards.
Persons who have parked on the basketball court, persons who have parked on the basketball court, you're asked to remove your vehicle. Just reminding you, persons parked on the basketball court, you're asked to go and remove your vehicle. Thank you.
Players still requiring treatment. Here's another look at what happened. Yeah, it was a loose tackle there. He ended up worse for it. Back to his feet now. That should allow play to restart momentarily. Throw it, JDF. Ball spread. Mark Mighton couldn't get there. Here's Daniel Green. Cummings. Gets it to Smith. Kimoni Bailey trying to get to that one. Was beaten to it by Thompson.
Yeah, those square passes never desired by coaches, especially from that distance, from the positions, which is one side to the other on the turf.
Here's Demario Phillips, gets it to Daniel Green. Good work here from Mount Pleasant. And it's broken up by the Army men. Here's McCullough. Roden is the number 7, still on the ball, gets it back to McCullough. Both of them trying to send it forward. All the way back to Kemar Foster. McCullough, the vice captain of this JDF team, actually won the JPL with Portmore United in 2017. And his brother, not a very common last name, McCullough. So Soleil McCullough is his brother, who actually played and captained this Mount Pleasant team to victory back in 2023. Yeah. Incidentally, Soleil McCullough was on that Portmore team that won the title in 2017 as well.
Yeah, JDF just trying to keep their shape, making it difficult for Mount Pleasant to penetrate, and right on cue, couldn't find the right pass to penetrate, and that one went out for a throw-in. I think JDF would have come here not expecting to have the bulk of the possession, as we see Topper Whitmore there, figuring how to break this JDF team down. And like I said, based from the lineup, would be taking it serious. Definitely want to not be one of the victims of this Jamaica Football Federation Championship team. Or they play in the championship here, second tier level. The last team that is left in the competition from that level.
Mark Mohan Maiden having quite a lot of time on the ball there in himself and Brandon Lee Thompson. Ball sent forward. McCullough trying to get on the end of it. Well shielded by Anglin.
Yeah, JDF was looking to overload on this near side. Pass didn't find a teammate, but so far so good for them. 13 minutes gone and Mount Pleasant yet to have a sight at goal. That would definitely be going to plan for JDF. Mount Pleasant certainly would have come into this one and wanted a quick start.
Yeah.
So for the opening 14 minutes, you'd say JDF the happier of the two.
Marshall gets it in a deep area. How? You know, we just saw in the match before this one, Malachi Sterling playing in the middle of the park, and one of the things that I noticed about him that I have to give a lot of credit for is his ability to receive in the middle of the park under pressure and turn. As we see quite a lot of the Mount Pleasant players here receiving back to goal, their immediate response is to spray the pass back to where they're getting it from, not to turn. And it's a skill set that I've heard quite a few coaches complain is missing in the island of Jamaica.
Yeah, and that has a lot to do too with the awareness of the players recognizing before they receive the ball where they are, where their teammates are, where their opponents, where pressure is coming from. Sometimes too you can be helped by the teammate that is passing you the ball, because there's a heart in it as well. You would be encouraged to pass away from the pressure. So if I'm the one and you're passing to me, pressure is coming from my left side, then you want to pass to my right foot away from it. So, yeah, a lot of things can contribute to that.
Whistle on the play as Demario Phillips given license to roam freely from Anjay Gale. Here's Foster. Anglin. Ball headed in the path of Phillips, but it was away from him. Ben Mordecai Gibbs able to hold on to it. Straight to Bailey. 1. Here's Brandon Lee Thompson. Turns inside, gets it to McCullough. Back out wide. And still alive. Throwing going the way of Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, he had played it off him. Did Dyer. But what you mentioned just now is one of the things I used to see a lot. I used to say about Phillips too. Demar Phillips was always busy in games, but not really affecting the game in that way in terms of pass breaking lines. Not very often. Something he's been working on.
Good turn from Cheese. Still Cheese with the ball. Smith trying to strip him of possession, but it's still the Army men. Giving away now. And good defending from the Army men.
Yeah, not the first time Mount Pleasant looking to go over the top. Down their right side.
Here's McCullough. Lovely ball. Cheese. Used the hand on that occasion to bring it under control. And after a quarter of an hour and a few minutes has gone. Of course, Mount Pleasant having the lion's share of possession, but most of that in their own half.
Yeah, they got a quick start, but that's just the opening few minutes, literally. But like I said, happier the two teams would be JDF because they want a solid performance. And they're getting that.
Lovely ball from McCullough to Thompson. Slit, but was able to send the cross. Kemar Foster had to punch. Mighton can't get the shot off. Daniel Green now with the breakaway. Good movement here. And good defending to give up a corner kick.
Yeah, McIntosh there just... I felt at one point I felt the pass from Green was a bit early, but it wasn't. McIntosh got the first touch proper, but then the second didn't get him away from the defender.
Quite a few players slipping now. Need a change of footwear. Marshall got the shot but defended away. The captain having some defending to do on the left side of the defense. Cummings doing well through pressure but eventually losing possession. Here's McCullough now for the Army men. Releasing Cheese. Tevin Cheese. Blitz by two players. Cuts it back. Gets it across. Still alive. McCullough. Just missed control there and broke up a play. And then Mount Pleasant now go the other way. End-to-end stuff. Daniel Green on his bike. Releasing Marshall. He points where he's going to place it. Goes to goal. Ben Mordecai Gibbs. A safe pair of hands.
Yeah, Marshall just too close to Gibbs. But I don't think this is how Mount Pleasant Phillips. That's normally a yellow card, and it's coming. Yes, it is. Yeah, certainly.
Kessler Anderson in a no-nonsense mood now.
Yeah, no need for this frustration boiling over there, Phillips. But take the yellow card here. We don't want to do that. But I was about to say that I don't think the way the game was stretched end to end is not out. JDF would want it, but yeah, Phillips just feeling that he robbed cleanly that ball, but not for the challenge was he shown the red card, but the yellow card, but for dissent and tossing down that ball. But like I said, a few players at each other here from Mount Pleasant, you know, demonstrating. So as I said, JDF will be the happier of the two because they're stealing their defense and frustrating this Mount Pleasant team. And they're citing that this is a real opportunity for them to make history here, JDF, and as a championship team get into this Popeyes Challenge Cup final.
Williams won it well, but gave it away. Here's Anglin now going the other way from Mount Pleasant. Still on his run. Joshua Anglin in the area. Has the turn. Trying to navigate through traffic. Ben Mordecai Gibbs came and stopped his merriment. He's still down, but play continues.
And I think he flung himself forward, just trying to stop the goalkeeper from getting a clean grasp on that one. But good run from him, but I felt he had an opportunity to let fly. And once he took that extra touch, that took him wide. And that's a chance gone, I felt. And never recovered from it, did Anglin. Jashon Anglin.
Marshall with Rodin trying to steal the ball from him. Marshall slipped but got the pass off. McIntosh with a good turn. Straight to Gibbs.
Yeah, nothing pass in the end.
Mighton to McCullough. Green.
Yeah, always going to have too much on it. Good quality on display from both teams, and good tactical battle as well.
They have certainly shown that they belong at this stage of the competition, the Army men.
Yeah, putting up a good display here in the semi-finals. Halfway through the first half and still level. And you have to say, pretty much giving as much as they're getting.
Samuel Taylor was offside.
Yeah, youngster strain offside. One of those games that keep the referee busy, up and down football end to end.
Call going the way of JDF. Devonta Francis was brought down. It's a free kick and an opportunity to deliver something that perhaps will trouble Kemar Foster in goal. Tevin Cheese, the man behind this one, former Dintle player, lifts it in the area, header on, straight to Kemar Foster, free header.
Yeah, first we are looking at goal, and that goes to JDF. They'll be disappointed because in a game like this, you feel they come into it, they know they're going to have to defend stoutly. But the other thing that the coach would have said to them at the other end of the park, got to take the chances when they come, because they're not going to be a plenty, you know, to expect them. That was a really good chance, really good opportunity.
McIntosh, Marshall.
Yeah, really. You talk about getting under a ball, that was it.
Here's another look at the aforementioned attempt.
Defending was poor from Mount Pleasant. So free. Might have been surprised that he found himself in so much space and time afforded to him. Really ought to have done better.
Mount Pleasant again. Green, McIntosh. Marshall, Ben Mordecai gets it off the frame, and the army men are speared. Wow!
Yeah, both teams getting good look-ins now. Opportunities for both teams to have taken the lead. Neither team had taken the opportunity afforded to them or created by them. Probably have another look at this, yeah. Flips with the ball inside, and yeah, goalkeeper had to make that save, parried onto his post, and defenders were quickest to react to mop things up.
Corner kick won by Mount Pleasant. Pressure mounting on JDF now. Wet conditions, slippery conditions, and it's Francis who has the ball for JDF. Leaves it for Thompson. Lots of space. Kept it alive. Tevin Cheese was offside. He wanted the pass much earlier. Ben Mordecai Gibbs off the screen, needing some assistance. Goalkeeper for JDF.
Yeah, called into action, delivered what he needed to.
He's in the trenches, literally.
Well, they know the importance of it. He won't be bothered by being in the trenches.
Williams gave that one away. Marshall now for Mount Pleasant. Receives it again. Being hounded and ultimately bundled over.
Another player down for JDF. probably realizing too that, quite sure, yeah, maybe down for some of the reason, but probably realizing too that Pleasant growing in the game can just disturb the rhythm of this Mount Pleasant team and get a breather for themselves, disrupt them and see if they can get a stronger hold back in this game. But they've had a good look in. JDF had a good chance to go ahead. Free header that was directed directly at the goalkeeper. Mount Pleasant long range, but it was intended by Phillips from out wide. Parried on to the upright by Gibbs.
Once again, persons who have parked on the newly surface rubberized court, basketball court, you are asked to come and remove your vehicle. If not, the tow truck will be called because no parking, no vehicle is allowed onto that.
Free kick from Mount Pleasant. Kimoni Bailey standing behind this one. I reckon that anything towards goal can yield some positive results, if only for the wet conditions. That would be enough. Phillips steps over, a grounder, and Ben Mordecai Gibbs able to hold on to it after Tajay McIntosh was able to poke it towards goal.
Surface rubberized basketball court, and if you did park there, please go and remove your vehicle, or it will be towed, and it will be towed at your expense.
Was a stoppage in the last 8 or so minutes in this contest, just disrupting the flow. It has been a good watch before this sequence of stoppages. Hopefully we can get a consistent flow from here on to the interval. Again, looking to go over the top, Mount Pleasant.
JDF players, the defensive line have really been alert to their offside trap. Immediately the player who made that defensive header was appealing for the offside flag. Kessler Anderson was late to recognize that it had gone up. Thompson goes back. Just a few puddles developing.
Yeah, it has not been
areas.
Heavy,
yeah, not
but
heavy.
Steady
rain, yeah.
For a good while now, because from the beginning of, or before the first game, it started and has continued, hasn't eased up at all, so the field really taking a lot of water on it, but has held up well.
Calm work.
Skillful work as well.
Kevin Cheese doing the business there.
You know, people say easy peasy, easy cheesy, depending on where you're from or which area of the country you're in.
Whistle on the play as JDF get a free kick in their own half. Have a look at it. Daniel Green with a loose handed to the face of Cheese. Sadler. Gale. Mark Mohan Mighton. Here's Sadler. Mighton slipped, caught up, kept it in possession. Sadler gave it away. Kimoni Bailey now. He too gave it away. Received by Daniel Green. Lost possession to Tejon Williams. Mighton has options. Goes to Cheese. That one went across and able to be cleared. Anglin now pushing it forward. Bit of hold up on the run of the ball based on the puddles.
Yeah, poor touch that from Marshall, gifting the ball to JDF, who's having a good spell again.
Lovely ball. That's Thompson. Get it across and a slip there. And there's appeals from the JDF supporters for a push, but Shaquille Dyer, he was innocent. Here's Taylor going the other way from Mount Pleasant. Daniel Green didn't have many options. Anglin can't pop from distance. Up for the pass. Smith now on the ball. Marshall. Phillips driving to the D. Gets the shot off! Demario Phillips. What a strike from the D. And the defense of JDF has been breached.
Well, D as in distance, D as in the area on the pitch. But certainly a great shot from him. Lovely move from Mount Pleasant. You could see the build-up. They were patient in it. Didn't want to play it aerially into the box because JDF have been dominant aerially. But just look at him, always looking for that extra yard of space. And the goalkeeper would have seen it very late because lots of bodies in front of him. Most of it from the JDF. But certainly the armor pierced. And just like that, Mount Pleasant has taken the lead. And you could say in a little way, in that little sequence, against the run of play, because for the last 4 or 5 minutes, it was JDF who was looking the brighter of the two teams. But that's when you have quality all over the park. And that missed opportunity they had in earlier in this half, that free header, making to rule that now.
It's been the sixes. It was Tejon Williams, the number 6 for JDF, who had that free header. And Demario Phillips, the number 6 for Mount Pleasant, who had that fantastic strike from some 20 yards away.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier that he has been working on that attacking play, just being more impactful on the game. And certainly, we talk about him breaking lines, certainly broken this JDF defense.
Mighton with the delivery. Sadler trying to get there as well. Cheese cleared. Whistle on the play as it goes the way of JDF. Some 39 minutes we've seen in this encounter so far. Only one goal. What can the Army men do? From this dead ball situation, lifted in the area. Good take. Turn! Wow! An immediate response! And the sixes have it! Tejon Williams, the lieutenant, with a banger! Kemar Foster picks that one up!
Well, Lieutenant left foot strike, well, that's a beauty. Just a beauty. And it's textbook style in terms of playing, attacking with your back to goal. Because he certainly held it up well, but had one intention, not to lay it off. He knew where the goal was, and with that strike, you can have no doubt. Just watch this one coming over. Yeah, lovely strike. All with the left. Lieutenant left strike. Yeah, look at it. Beauty. Absolute beauty. Thunderous strike as well. And just like that, we're back where we started.
There is parity. There is all to play for. Just at the stroke of the 40th minute. What do we have on our hand? And it's a second goal for Lieutenant Tejon Williams. Here's Daniel Green. High.
Yeah, looking for an immediate response. But yeah, I tell you what, yellow card.
Shown to the captain, Kemar Drake.
The JDF full level. Player number 6. Tejon Williams, the scorer. Goal looking to come in the 39th minute, or maybe at the 40th minute. It's JDF. What? Mount Pleasant. What?
Yeah, have a good contest on our hands here. First time the Jamaica Defence Force has been breached defensively in this Popeyes Challenge Cup. And they're showing that they can compete with the best in the land. At least in this competition, they didn't manage to progress or be promoted to the Premier League, but they're having a liking to this competition. And boy, do they belong. Boy, do they belong. On the evidence of that strike. Mount Pleasant have nothing over them, but even their general display in the contest.
I mean, I was going to say that, but the control, the takedown.
No, it was an excellent strike. I mean, top draw it was. I mean, you see those international sport and you'd wax lyric
over it.
about that goal and how technical it was, how professional it was. Well, it has been produced here in the Popeyes Challenge Cup. Yellow card coming out again. And JDF won't want to give this one away by rattling up the cards. It could come back to hurt them in the end. That one was shown to their number 12.
That's Thompson.
Lee Thompson. Yeah, let's have a look here. Marshall was already down. Getting up. Yeah. That's reckless, yeah.
Free kick for Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, looking to re-establish their lead in this one.
JDF's number 12, Brandon Lee Thompson.
Swung in the area.
Handball, listed on. The JDF certainly mounting a strong defense here. They normally are dominant with the aerial ball, which is why Mount Pleasant were patient on their opening goal. Or the opening goal in this contest. And another free kick. The Triple M man.
Mark Mohan Mighton.
Yeah.
3M. Good counter press from JDF. They win it back. Ball spread forward now for Francis to run onto. Dyer had to do some defending. That he did well.
Had to turn on the afterburners.
Phillips now on the ball. Wonderful pass from Marshall. Smith pulled the trigger, but it was charged down, and now Daniel Green. Daniel Green!
Yeah, not on his favored right. Always speeding away. Just felt McIntosh could have pulled the trigger earlier. Good touch, good run. But just think he delayed and allowed the shot to be charged down. 3 minutes to be added on at the end of this first half. A good first half. Watchable first half. At a moment where we had a lot of stoppages, but flowed nicely before there was that moment, and then after that moment has flown nicely with 2 goals to show. Much was made of it that in their first win, and some were saying it was a much changed Cavalier team, but you know, changed or not, it's Cavalier, but even if they wanted to hold on to that, as we see them looking to have a good build up again, the fact that they did down an Arnett team, again, credit given to them over penalties, but again it was a young Arnett team that many will say, okay, it was a young Arnett team. As we see Marshall looking to get out of trouble, and certainly did, like a magician Houdini out of a tight spot.
Wow. Anglin. Can they reward Marshall? Yes, they can! Marshall deserves all the accolades. Green will be on the score sheet. But wow, what an engine Alex Marshall was. He navigated through traffic and despair. And the shot from Anglin peppered the hands of the keeper. And Daniel Green was on hand to tap home Mount Pleasant. They have the lead in first half stoppage time.
Yeah, it was 3 players operating at their optimum, displaying their biggest quality. Look at Marshall in tight places. Yeah, came out of it like an Houdini. Then when it came back to Anglin, unleashing from distance, something he does so well and prides himself on. And Green, the poacher, the man who knows where the goal is, who always appears in a favored position for his team, attacking wise. That was quality at his best. Players' individual skills coming to the fore here from Mount Pleasant to bail them out against a resolute Jamaica Defence Force team.
Can they respond immediately? Foster had to come and claim. Player down for JDF. Good turn from Taylor.
Yeah.
Marshall, who was architect in chief of that particular one. And the referee has brought a halt to this one. 3 goals in the half. The David versus Goliath matchup. Mount Pleasant, the Goliath, they have the lead after 2 solid strikes. But the Army men, they have definitely demonstrated that they belong with the elite in the island. And it's all to play for at the end of, or the other side of this break. JDF 1, Mount Pleasant 2.
Chicken sandwich there, crispy barbecue chicken breast fillet, crunchy pickles and Popeyes signature sauce, and the buns, buttery brioche. Oh my God, water. It's new
Popeyes chicken sandwich with barbecue. Well, delicious barbecue right through. It's finally here. Popeyes barbecue chicken sandwich available everywhere. Popeyes has the new barbecue chicken sandwich.
Barbecue with a hot attitude.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
I challenge you to a race tomorrow. Challenge on.
Here at Connex, we reward innovation, resilience, and creativity. These are the core values of Connex. Connex, Caribbean engineers at work.
Lasco Food Drink is everything you need to support your family's nutrition. Have it at home or take it with you every day for all-day energy. Lasco Food Drink has your favorite flavors, including low-sugar options, so you sacrifice nothing. Packed with protein, calcium, vitamins, minerals, including iron. Lasco Food Drink is the winning taste and nutrition for your family. Nutrition never tasted so good.
Also try Lasco Soy as a lactose-free alternative.
Well, welcome back to the Ray and Nephew Anthony Spalding Sports Complex here in Arnett Gardens. The Jamaica Defence Force, they trail Mount Pleasant by 2-1. And as you know, we'll have a look at the first half highlights shortly, where there were 25 teams. We're down to 3 because earlier Molynes, they down Montego Bay and are in the finals. These two are trying to join them. Well, Mount Pleasant, they got us on the way. And for the first 3 minutes, looked the brighter of the two teams. And then JDF, they grew into the game. Was Mount Pleasant here looking to break the deadlock. Lovely goalkeeper having to intervene there, coming out wide from Phillips. But that was sign of what was to come. And Bailey almost sneaked through there from Mount Pleasant to open the scoring. Not on that occasion, but maybe not too far. Here it comes. Phillips looking for that extra yard of space. Found it. And then through the bodies. Yeah, goalkeeper Sprawling just couldn't get to it. Given the opportunity to come inside. Just came across, and once he saw the opening, yeah, it wasn't much of an opening, but that was like threading the eye of a needle. And expertly placed as well. Sprawling was Gibbs, but had no chance. Phillips thanking the Evans. The lead, though, for Mount Pleasant didn't last long. Look at this goal. Yeah, one of the best we've seen in this competition. And even Whitmore would have been proud of that one. Wiping the brow. But just look here, how well he took it on the tie. And then just front up the defender, just pin the defender. And then before any help could come, rifled that one. Pass Foster. No chance for Foster. Top draw. A lieutenant with a left foot strike. A left foot to die for. And it looked like, yeah, JDF would make it into halftime level with a talented Mount Pleasant team. But here comes the talent bags coming out. Yeah. Ball back to Anglin. And from Marshall, lovely footwork to Anglin's distant blast. To Green's expert arrival and finish. Quality, individual quality of these high quality Mount Pleasant player was what undone this Jamaica Defence Force defense. Just look here, Anglin given too much time. 2-3 touches out of his feet. Goalkeeper Gibbs couldn't handle that shot. Yeah, wow, everything behind it. Now that's a rocket. And the interceptor dealt with it partially, not fully, and mopped up expertly by Green. Let's look at the first half statistics here. At the top, we see Mount Pleasant, they lead this contest 2-1. 2 shots from Jamaica Defence Force. One was expertly put away. Mount Pleasant, 9 shots, 4 on target. 2 corners from Mount Pleasant. JDF yet to register. Mount Pleasant lead in the possession 53-47. 6 fouls committed by Mount Pleasant, 2 less than the JDF. 4 yellow cards shown to the Army men, not showing the discipline we come to expect with such group. And yeah, no red card shown, no offsides yet. We go to the break. When we come back, second half, action.
What is love? Love is when my uncle gave me the money to help start my shop. My auntie and I made her famous recipe even more delicious. And it starts with the best dressed chicken and a little extra love. No, my shop is famous to the people that matter the most to me, my community. So I only serve the best dressed chicken. Raised without antibiotics, it's only the best for my customers. If anyone's going to add something to my best dressed chicken,
It's going to be me.
only the best can be called the best dressed chicken.
Link. The missing link. Link virtual card. Sign up for Link from your app store. Select cards to activate your virtual card. And start shopping.
Geared with heavy artillery to serve and protect this precious land, this chosen few inhabit one of the most well-known addresses in Jamaica, Up Park Camp, Kingston 5. These army men are not only equipped for service to this beautiful island of Jamaica, they are just as formidable with a ball at their feet. The Jamaica Defence Force football team is one of Kingston and St. Andrews' most beloved clubs with a rich footballing history to go along with their distinguished badges.
Pride that we participate in this competition. The JDF has a rich football history. We've won the Premier League in times past. We've been winners of also the Jackie Bell Knockout. In most recent times, we've won the Major League twice, and we matriculated and we won the CASAFA Championships. This is our first year participating in the Tier 2 competition. We fell short, but now we have a chance to redeem ourselves in the Popeyes Challenge Cup. I know that the cup describes itself as a David against Goliath matchup, but we are Goliaths in our own right, and we believe that we have the quality.
So we are soldiers playing football, you understand? So once the nation call up, you will be always there to support the nation. You know, so after Hurricane Melissa, you know, we pack our bags and we all went down to the western side of the island, and we went there and we put in some good work, you know. We helping families down there, and then, you know, this football competition come back up. So, you know, 2 weeks before the competition, you know, the Colonel GS authorized us to get back in training because they want us to perform well at this league.
For the men on the pitch, a steely air of confidence that they have the weaponry to undertake any mission they are tasked with on the pitch.
First and foremost, we want to put JDF on the map. So at all times, we're gonna put our best foot forward on and off the field.
Yeah.
We feel good in ourselves, and I must say that hats off to the coaching staff also, because they have put in a tremendous job through pre-season, so it has brought us here. And also I must say congrats to my team also, because they are here putting in the work. So
different games come with different tactics. Of course, also game plan surrounds the opponents. So of course our plan look at the opponent first. Going up against Cavalier the other day, we look at their strength, their weakness. However, it was a total different game than what we watched versus the other Premier League team where they were playing more long ball. They came out, moved the ball around, so we had to adjust, and of course we do it quite effectively. Going against Arnett, I'm expecting similar game, but of course it may be some more mature players than what Cavalier did. So stick to the plan that the coach gave us, and of course looking to come out victorious once more.
The belief is very strong, as you can see in training. So they believe in me to score the goals. Yeah, and to experience to play against the top teams in Jamaica, you know. So it's a good feeling. You have to be nervous a bit, you know, you're playing against a top team in Jamaica. So there's a little nervousness, and you know we're going to come and play a good game.
You know, if we're representing the JDF, it has a standard. You know, you have to live up to the standards as always. And my love of football, we grew up and we love football from a tender age. You know, we grew up in it, so we just have to love it always. The coach is a big coach, you know, big up Shanks. But as I say, the training has to be intense because, you know, we're fit and we have to run. So we have to go against a big team, so we have to keep up the tempo.
Having conquered last year's JPL champions Cavalier 1-0 in round 3, the message is clear ahead of their
Popeyes Challenge Cup, powered by Popeyes, Lasco, Connex, Best Dressed Chicken, Red Stripe, Mackay Security.
Welcome back to the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex, Popeyes Cup 2026. Popeyes Challenge Cup 2026, the semi-final round. As we have already seen one team book their place in the final, that's Molynes United. Two teams do battle over 45 minutes now, as we've already seen the first half. Mount Pleasant with the lead, 2-1 ahead of Jamaica Defence Force. What do we have for the next 45 minutes? Dean Smith with Dwight Jeremiah, and it's been an entertaining watch amidst the persistent rain at Dwight, and the quality on display certainly hasn't been diminished.
No, not dimmed at all, not diluted even with this heavy shower. Certainly we've had a good quality encounter, and both teams are responsible for that. I mean, yes, maybe you say with the quality of Mount Pleasant, just shade it as the scoreline suggests for that first half. But JDF, they did have a good opportunity to open the scoring before Mount Pleasant did with that header that they, at least for the first half, would have ruled that to go in a goal down, having created, I wouldn't say gifted, but created somewhat that opportunity. Mount Pleasant marking was poor, but they did get on the score sheet to level things up, but like I said, was undone by quality, sheer quality, individual qualities combined to even compound the situation that they were up against at that time. Marshall in a tight spot, the Dean-esque type skills to get out of it. Then Anglin, a man that has power and a lot of times precision on his strikes. And Green, an expert finisher that he has become, latched onto it. So undone by quality, compounded. But they're not out of it, JDF. And you don't have to, it won't take me to tell them that. These are men who have been trained to have huge resilience and a mentality of steel that will be required in the second half. They did draw on some of the qualities that you would expect them to have. Physicality, they've rattled up the yellow cards, 4 so far in this contest, but keeping their allotment of players on the park, giving them a good opportunity to go at this Mount Pleasant team, because for good stretches of the first half, they were the better team. So they will feel like in this second half, they can replicate that and add quality to it as well.
JDF in grey. much like the skies above perhaps all of the island of Jamaica. In the inclement weather. Weather that perhaps not perhaps, I really don't mind. I was getting a bit too warm.
Yeah, when I left Trelawney today, it started. I think they said it has stopped somewhat, just light there. Because in the halftime break, I did get a few messages from there that they're fully tuned in. One Dane Clark from Granville saying, has not missed a game in this Challenge Cup brought by CVM. So, yeah, he's happy to have the coverage so he can see some good football.
Second of action off now. McCullough couldn't get there. Samuel Taylor stayed on his feet. Under pressure now from Williams. Wins the throw-in to the Army men. Here's Williams. He scored a wonderful strike. Gets it to Cheese. Can he do something? Across to McCullough. Roden! Charge down. Cheese. Turning well. Slipped it forward. Roden. Across. Straight to Kemar Foster.
Well, in all honesty, didn't have much to aim at. And even the one JDF player that was in there was very close to Foster. Did well, you feel, Cheese, but didn't have the support. But good start from JDF. Kind of start they would have wanted. Only thing that could be better, only start that could be better from that is if they had gotten a goal from that attacking play.
Here's Sadler on the ball. Rather confident and competent. Good play here from JDF as they try to navigate. Throwing goes away from Mount Pleasant. To the chagrin of,
I guess for much of the neutrals, they would want the JDF to win. Keep it.
Or at least to equalize early in this half.
To make a game of it.
To make a game of it.
Yeah.
And perhaps for the neutrals like yourself, go all the way to penalties.
Yeah, why not? Why not? More goals and penalties.
More drama, huh?
Yeah, more drama.
It has too many villains. Too many players leave with nightmares.
Well, it's life itself, heroes and villains.
McIntosh kept it alive for Mount Pleasant. Phillips. Steady increase of the intensity of the rain here at the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex.
And still the pitch has stood up well.
McIntosh on the end of this one. Has Marshall to aim for. It comes across to Marshall! And Alex Marshall did wonders in the first half to cue up the second goal for Mount Pleasant. And I think fortune does favor the brave. Fortuitously, that one came across to him from a deflection. And all he had to do was steer on the path. And that he did.
Yeah, McIntosh here just realizing, looking up to try and find it, was the best to pass. But give Marshall credit. In this wet condition, we could see this one just spooning off the boot. But made solid contact. Had a small window to aim at, right at that far post. And you get the feeling early in the second half when we wanted a goal. It came from Mount Pleasant. Could be difficult now. We'll test the steely metal of these Army men. Whether or not they will continue to fight, and, well, not whether they will, whether or not they'll be able to produce the quality to reduce the deficit is another matter. But we've seen signs that they can create.
Throw in for the Army men. Williams, the goal scorer. Very calm on the ball. Tries to lift this one. Kimoni Bailey got the header away. Sadler forward. Here they come, the Army men. Shot, charge down.
And again, they're going to have to change that though, because had that gone across, then they only had one player in the box as well.
Here they come again. Tevin Cheese can't get it to McCullough. Anglin doing well to snuff out that ball. Good solid challenge from Brandon Lee Thompson. Here's McCullough. Cheese. McCullough still on the ball. Not much urgency in the defending or the attacking. He's happy to pass it around. Here's a ball. And was just too overconfident and thought he had more space than he really did on that occasion. Still alive though for JDF. Fitzroy Cummins having to do the sensible thing there. Played out for a throw-in.
Yeah, good steady spell of possession for JDF. They're going to look to inject some fresh legs or probably some different skill sets. Number 12 coming out.
That's Brandon Lee Thompson. Has largely been a ghost since the latter stage of the second half.
Yeah, Michael Allen, the player, coming in.
Substitution from the JDF team. Player number 12.
Here's Cheese.
Thompson.
Get in by Marshall.
Is replaced by player number 11.
Waited for the call.
Allen.
Belatedly, the whistle came from Kessler Anderson.
Substitution came in the 51st minute.
Hoping that with the substitution comes some good fortunes. A goal here now for JDF would be very good for their cause and again make the game even more interesting.
Cheese lifts it. That was a good header, you know. Satellite was with a glancing header that forced a solid save from Kemar Foster, the experienced custodian.
Yeah, just didn't get enough power on it.
Cheese has really been in this fight. Asking for a card, showing the damage done to his leg. He's an intemperate soldier, isn't he?
One to them. One to them.
He's saying with evidence he should get a different outcome.
Sattler standing behind this one.
Well, in the first game, I think we saw a goal from this here, but it will take good kick to beat Foster from here. And that wasn't a good one.
Mount Pleasant in possession. The ill effects of the weather now beginning to show more on the pitch. But Daniel Green with that shot. Gibbs had to save it on the second time of asking. Hasn't been as sure-handed as he started the encounter.
And always going to be difficult in this type of condition. So I think Mount Pleasant doing the right thing in terms of shooting at every opportune moment. Bailey on the ball by his standards. Fairly quiet game.
Yeah. Hasn't ventured forward much.
Just playing a disciplined role tonight.
Of course, the Mount Pleasant team will set off to the CFU Club Shield. Matter of days, really. Here's a shot from distance. Gibbs did well on the first time of asking.
Well, he heard you and he said, well, I can do better. You have to give me some credit. The conditions are not favorable. On that occasion, he showed much surer hands.
Yeah, so they have the CFU Club Shield coming up in a matter of days. Of course, I wonder how preparation for that is being incorporated in their deep run here in the Popeyes Challenge Cup.
Well, they do have a deep squad. But maybe also used to sharpen things up as well. As I said before, games before this, it was a much changed team I've seen, and much more youngsters employed. Today, more of the regulars and seniors in there. And probably a win in this cup would probably using it a precursor, being that it is the Shield sort of knockout thing, trying to win in that and coming into this one and playing some knockout football here and testing themselves, fine-tuning. And like I said, for them, they wouldn't want to end the season not winning something.
Is angling.
Yeah, good take from him.
Fitzroy Cummings to Daniel Green. Green again. Unpleasant, just happy to keep possession, even if it is in their own half predominantly.
Yeah, and that has a negative effect on this JDF team. Not only do they want it.
Shot from Phillips over the crossbar on that occasion.
As I was saying, not only do they want it to try and reduce the deficit, but also having to chase it in this type of condition with the undersurface being saturated somewhat or heavy on the foot, will take a toll on their physicality in this contest.
They got away a while ago. Ben Mordecai Gibbs slipping. Luckily for him and the JDF team, wasn't anything deleterious.
Marshall again on the receiving end of a challenge that we're not fond of. So he produces another yellow card. This is the 5th one, but look at Cheese, because Cheese is saying, here you get a card, and again showing his leg. I think the mark is gone now, Cheese. It's still showing it. Oh, yeah, you see that the little swelling on the skin is not gone, so yeah, he might just talk himself into the books. Yeah, let's have a... Yeah, so I think it was Gale who was shown that card. Bradford looking to make his entrance.
Samuel Taylor, the player he replaces, the youngster.
Yeah. He's had a decent game, especially the first half was solid each time he was called upon. Not flashy, but solid. But as you can see, as we said, it's taken a pounding, you can say, because of the consistency of this downpour. But certainly has held up and has not affected the quality of play.
Perhaps the only other field that would be able to maintain a playable surface under these conditions is the National Stadium.
Well, to tell the truth, I've seen the National Stadium in recent times, and I see chunks of grass coming out each time.
Yeah.
Under this condition, I wouldn't like to see it. Not what we should be saying about the National Stadium surface.
Not at all.
But
it is what it is.
It is what it is. We've seen that.
They have done well here, the custodians.
I mean, well enough that, from time to time we've seen national teams come out here to train, prepare for games or maybe tournaments coming up.
I've even seen an international match here. Jamaica against Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
A friendly. Here's Sattler for JDF. Lovely ball forward. McCullough couldn't turn, but still alive with cheese. McCullough lifts this one in the box. Headed away, and Anglin now runs. Green. Bailey. He now ventures forward. Underlaps and then releases Anglin.
Yeah, maybe Bailey just wants to get in on that. If it's not done already, maybe another goal would just make this end as a contest.
But I don't see the same urgency in the JDF players. I think that perhaps mentally they have
given in. I think that second goal, that goal in this early in the second half, certainly whatever plans they had and optimism they had coming into this half would have been knocked really hard by that goal. Because as a team, you go in at halftime, you're trailing by one, you've put a plan in place and say, okay, this is what we're going to do and we're going to get back in it through this means. And then so early in it, you go even further behind and you begin to doubt that plan even before it was fully executed.
Throwing for, or is it a free kick for the Army men?
It's fast looking like this great story. Cliches talk of Cinderella's story. Great run from the JDF might be coming to an end.
Or is it? Allen can't get the final pass. Lifted high. McIntosh on the end of this one. McIntosh showing good strength. Marshall. Here's Bradford.
Referee says nothing doing, and in all fairness to Bradford, didn't look like he was looking for something after falling down.
Good, no nonsense defending from Anjay Gale. Very calm. To the credit of the JDF players, of course, from what we've seen here, there's such a stark resemblance to Sulay McCullough there. They couldn't hide.
Yeah.
They couldn't hide their family linkage anywhere whatsoever.
Even if you had not mentioned it earlier that he was his brother, I think that close-up shot,
Yeah.
I mean, first would ask, well, oh, is that McCullough himself? Sule, that is.
The Army men, they haven't been overawed by the galaxy of stars that this Mount Pleasant team possess?
No, in all fairness, they have stayed in this contest for the most part. I mean, even going in at halftime 2-1, they were certainly not overly outplayed. They pretty much share that first half in terms of dominating periods in it. Such that Mount Pleasant had more quality.
Can they find a finish here? Green lays it off. Shot blocked and eventually cleared. Here's McCullough. They don't have a lot of numbers forward. As JDF. A defense splitting pass would do wonders. Is that it in the form we see here? Cheese gets it. Sattler with the strike.
Not a bad intention from him to hit a low one across goal. Skidding off the surface, just didn't have the power in the end. Kicking a bit into the turf. Yeah, but you know, just as you talk about the urgency, we see substitution coming on. We can see a youngster looking to come into play.
Number 6, Mario Phillip, being replaced by player number 15, Javier Henry. Substitution in the 66th minute.
Javier Henry comes on for Demario Phillips. If Mount Pleasant do go on to win this encounter, you know, there is a particular Gerald Neal, who is the kit manager for the Mount Pleasant setup, who might just be conflicted because a Gerald Neal Jr. of strong relation plays for Molynes United.
Well, I've seen him come up against, well, his son before. And probably would have in this Premier League, so probably something they'll say they're used to. But the professional in them will say, oh, look, we're both performing and defending our employee. Yeah, so walking in his father's footstep, because Cena was long-standing, rough, robust defender here at Harnett Gardens in these parts. Son did play for Harnett as well. He played the son for Harbourview as well.
As well, yeah. And now Molynes, so now the yellow card shown.
Yeah.
Sadler getting that yellow card for an inadvertent trip on Alex Marshall,
who has gotten his fair share tonight.
He'll need a shower and some.
But boy, did he evade some of those challenges in creating that go-ahead goal in the first half.
First half, yeah. Ball given away. One back. Solid recovery. Here's JDF. Just over 20 minutes left in normal time in this encounter. Is there anything that will spark life in the contest? It has watered down somewhat from the gloss of the first half, and only a goal from JDF, I believe.
Yeah.
Can dry the damp nature of the affair as it stands right now.
But they haven't looked the same unit as they were in that first half. And like I said, that early goal in the second half here by Mount Pleasant certainly was a big contributing factor to that. I mean, they know that. I mean, they're experienced players, as we saw. As we mentioned earlier, a lot of these players in this JDF team would have played in the Premier League as well. I mean, so they know quality when they see it, and the fact that they had a goal to claw back and they knew how difficult that was going to be.
Lovely ball here. Cheese is there. Didn't have the perfect touch, but the wet surface keeps it alive. He does very well, does Tevin Cheese. Tries to get in the box, swings it across. Still alive from JDF. Can they spring life in the contest? In the area. Well won by Dyer. Big opportunity that, and Tevin Cheese just had too heavy of a touch as he evaded Kemar Foster. And here comes Henry from Mount Pleasant. Much ado about nothing.
Yeah, I felt that Marshall was following up, so stepped over it, but it's wasn't the case.
Here's JDF. Allen. Sadler. Play it down for Mount Pleasant, but Bradford is up. Whips it across. Good save. Here's a rebound. Another save. And that's important defending as they try to get something going, JDF.
I think that was Green that felt certainly that he had hit the back of the net just now. Some last-ditch defending here from JDF has kept this deficit at 2.
Well read by Shaquille Dyer to intercept, and good spell from JDF. Hasn't resulted in anything of great fortune to them. Good take from Henry.
Not so good a pass from him.
It's always so dangerous to give a compliment
as commentators because
they sometimes want to prove you wrong.
You don't want to say it's a curse, eh?
Here's Marshall. Javier Henry lifts it across. Played away by Anjay Gale.
Not seen much of the ball. There's this JDF team. That's hurting them a lot.
Yeah, their legs seem to have gone. Perhaps they were on the Parade Square early this morning. For Muster. Here's Mount Pleasant.
Yeah,
Mordecai Gibbs,
from
able to hold on to that one.
Yeah, Mount Pleasant just proving a step too far, a hurdle too high for JDF, at least for the 73 minutes that we've seen so far.
Alex Marshall will now go in the books.
Having caused that car to come out on a number of occasions before, a couple of occasions before. Now he gets one in his stead. Well, when you can't get it from open play, set pieces can be very important. Vital.
That was the route through which they got their only goal so far.
About 6 or 7 players put forward. They can't get that amount from open play, so big opportunity.
And McCullough, they just couldn't get the header on. They try to regain and they do that quickly. Lovely ball. He's onside, Tevin Cheese. Can he find something? Turns back. Got the shot off, and it's straight to Cummings. And
But before now, when he goes forward, he didn't have a lot of support. On this occasion, he certainly did, but might have gone forward so often without support that it might have excused him to think there was none there. But there was so much help for him on the passive side. Just needed a good ball from Cheese.
It's McCullough. Lovely ball for Michael Allen, a substitute. McCullough does have a lot of comfort on the ball. Gets it to the goal scorer Williams. He lifts it across. Cheese. And look at Keenan Allen trying to bulldoze his way through. Mount Pleasant come away safe. Quarter of an hour left in this encounter. Henry trying to kill the encounter. The substitute for Mount Pleasant lays it on. Green, easy. And that is game, set and match. That's Mount Pleasant booking their way to another final. You have to say it's over. The fifth goal for Daniel Green. And Henry doing the business with the assist.
Yeah, goalkeeper gives it a bit disappointed with that. Well, good. Everything about it from Green, though, going across the goalkeeper is the intention you want from that side. Gibbs got a firm hand to it. Well, a good hand to it, but not firm enough. And on the back of his hat-trick against Limehall late in that game, he's here with a brace tonight for his fifth of the season in this Popeyes Challenge Cup, and the outright leading goal scorer in this knockout competition. And by the looks of it, certainly will have a chance to extend his goal scoring prowess in this competition, because certainly Mount Pleasant will be in the finals, I dare say.
It would take something seismic, a revolt, a coup from the Army men to usurp their more fancied opponent, the Caribbean champions. But
I would go further to say, as a TV man, well, as a movie guy, yes, it would have to be something mad to happen. I remember watching this movie which says that acronym MAD, mutually assured destruction. That would be required here too, to really get the Army men back in it. Seismic would have to be that one.
They are making a few substitutions. Sadler and Mark Mohan Mighton. Being withdrawn. And rather clean. Number 5 comes on, Romario Brown. He'll be dirtied soon enough. And at number 23 is Romario Dixon. So 2 Romarios, Brown and Dixon. It would be hard to differentiate them based on the cleanliness of their jerseys.
Jerseys provided by Soccer Express continue to produce good quality jerseys for, as I said earlier, competitions from the lowest of tiers to the highest of tiers. Mount Pleasant bringing the changes too, bringing in some of those youngsters some would say that we saw earlier in this competition. Probably getting his first touch in this knockout senior competition. With 4 goals to it. You feel just giving players some chance to blood some academy players.
JDF first. Player number 4. Keenan Sadler. And player number 13. Mark Whiteton. We replaced by players number 5.
Throwing for Mount Pleasant.
And player number 23. Mario Dixon. Right for triple substitution for the Mount Pleasant team. Player number 9. Daniel Green. Player number 11. Alex Marshall. Player number 15. J. McIntosh. Replaced by player number 21.
Here's JDF. Makala. Cheese. Back to Cheese from Makala. Turns his man well. Cheese with the shot. Spilled. No follow-up there from a JDF perspective. And it's a goal kick. Big opportunity. And Tevin Cheese won't be showing any legs now. He let that one fly. Kamar Foster unable to restart immediately. Perhaps some residue from the mud flashing on his face as that ball proved dangerous. Was unable to hold it first time. But no player in grey was able to make him pay.
Yeah, JDF, and what you think would have just been a consolation, because you don't feel they'll get back into this one. Mount Pleasant, as I said, they rang the changes to give some youngsters game time. Javier Henry, that came on for them, is only but 16 years old.
Makala has gone over to get one of the waters from the Mount Pleasant supply. Good spirited encounter this one is. Had a quick chat with them as well. Bradford being hounded, gets away. Ball given away, Cheese on it for JDF. Has been involved in everything good from a JDF perspective in the second half. More central now than the left wing that he occupied earlier. Makala tried to drive forward, but it was stripped of possession.
Yeah, trying to initiate something here to draw some contact that might have given him a chance from 12 yards. Lovely take from the 16-year-old guy. Was it?
Here's Cheese again. Williams. Almost stripped of possession, but was played out for a throw-in. Taken quickly. Good take from Brown Hanniford. Dixon driving forward. His ball through. Effective. That was defective. Keno Allen. Wayward.
Was winding up from that pass. Came through. Looking for a shot. It's just about 5 minutes in this contest. I suspect we're not going to have a lot added on to it.
It'd be cruel to add on a lot. Gale. Can he get something across? Still Gale. Does get it across. Here's an opportunity. Still alive for JDF. Shot. Cheese at the back post. Still Cheese. Finally he gets a call.
Yeah.
Not asking for a card on this occasion, but he does get the call.
Shoulder being roughed up by a youngster. Guess it's the only opportunity that youngster will get to rough up a shoulder.
Right here at the Untitled Sports Complex. Match time.
Now here it is.
8 p.m.
Cheese by the Rasta, yeah.
Molynes United. And from all
Only on this turf.
going up against Mount Pleasant for the finals. That's Tuesday at 8 p.m. right here at the Untitled Sports Complex.
Kamar Foster at pains, trying to set the wall to his liking.
Yeah, his 3 goes to the good, but still does not want any more blemish on his record.
Cheese just outside the box, straight to the goal. Blocked by one of his own players. Brown Hanniford now carries it away. Here's Bradford. Solid challenge. And Cheese again on the ball.
Well, it's been a good night for football. 7 goals in the first game, 5 in this one. Dozen on the night. Could say it was a night filled with showers and goals. Rained gold here tonight.
Whistle on the play. JDF was trying to push for another one there. Had some respectability to the scoreline, but there was an infraction. Play resumes with Cummings. Javier Henry being hounded. Make that Smith rather. Does win the throw in.
Youngsters showing that they belong.
Here's Bailey.
Well, JDF, they didn't get enough goals tonight, but they certainly had a quality one. one that could rival any of the Mount Pleasant goals, if not top them all in terms of quality.
Good work. Wow. Wow. At the end of it all, they get another goal through DeMarcus Smith. He did everything. And he finished as well, and crestfallen even further. The JDF defenders, they have not defended the force.
Well, the rain hasn't stopped, and we said it rained goal, and certainly another one came toward the end of it. And maybe you heard me saying that there's none better than the other goal, but certainly this was a beautiful drive-in one. And got some fortunes in that one. Might just well be an own goal as well, because yeah, that one was going away from goal. Not sure it's on target now. But he would have forced that error by his determined run, measly dribble, and getting into the box and forcing an error to put more gloss and sheen on this Mount Pleasant performance. A 5-star one it is now. On a night when we look to the heavens and we see no stars on this pitch, Mount Pleasant and Molynes have put in 5-star performances.
Can they get another one? Bailey at the back post. There was a runner.
Oh, he said he wanted to get on the act.
He claims it, but I'm not sure if he was the one who turned it home.
Well, let's see. We'll get another chance to see if he did. In the end, one thing is for sure, Mount Pleasant is 6, JDF 1. Anything Molynes can do, we can do it even better. Let's have a look here.
Was Anglin who?
Yeah, who's screaming
home? Yeah.
Yeah, it's Anglin's. But maybe celebrating his assist.
Just on Anglin, minute 90 plus 2.
A 5-star and some. And a step too far for the JDF, who for the first half felt almost as good as they got, undone by sheer individual qualities combined. But in the second half, were no match for the star-studded Mount Pleasant team. They're more fancied opponent.
Mount Pleasant 6, JDF 1.
That's the final whistle. That's the final act for JDF. David, outed, booted, battered. Mount Pleasant march to another final. The Caribbean champions will be able to be champions of knockout football in the island of Jamaica when they face Molynes, who have made it to their first major final after a 5-2 win over Mobe. But on the night, it was Mount Pleasant who, having started well, relinquished the lead. But ever since that 40th minute strike that brought parity, they have since scored 5 unanswered. And the men from Mount Pleasant march back to St. Anne knowing that they have gotten the better of the Army men. Jamaica Defence 1, Mount Pleasant 6. Let's have a look at the Red Stripe highlights. Second semi-final in the Popeyes Challenge Cup for 2026. Tamario Phillips in the first half, getting things going from a Mount Pleasant perspective. That was a solid strike as he moved straight across the 18-yard box and reached the D and fired. And that was a solid strike from the number 6. Ben Mordecai Gibbs beating all ends out. Goal number 1 from the number 6. Well, how about this from the opposite number 6? What a turn from Tejon Williams. The lieutenant with the left-footed strike. A thing of beauty. He took that one on his thigh and turned into space. Veteran Fitzroy Cummins, a very experienced national defender. Yeah, that's solid play from this soldier. But look at the skill here from Alex Marshall. There was a tug there, and then like a maestro magician, he danced through, got it off. Then it was laid for Deshaun Anglin. He took a strike, forced a rebound, and Daniel Green was able to tap it home. His first of the night. Look at how he evaded pressure here. Oh, lovely. He kept alive and they kept coming. That strike. A bit too much to hold. That was 2-1 for Mount Pleasant in added time in the first half. Second half action now. Mount Pleasant pushing forward. McIntosh got this one across, took a deflection. Alex Marshall was on hand to tap it home. That was 3-1. Mount Pleasant safe at that moment. And the soul and spirit of the soldiers left them after that. It was really one-way traffic. Though they did have some half chances, the Army men, nothing really troubled Kemar Foster in the final analysis. Another look at that third goal. Pushing forward. Henry. And solid strike in the end from Daniel Green, his senior. Gibbs did get a hand to it, but he needed something more firm, something more extended to block that fourth goal. Then at the stroke of 90, Smith drove forward DeMarcus Smith, and he snuck that one in, and the heads hung even further from a JDF perspective. DeMarcus Smith with that one. And the final act, that was number 5, Kimoni Bailey. Fired this one across, but it was Deshaun Anglin who steered it home. Both celebrated as if it was their own goal. Kimoni Bailey with the assist, Anglin with the goal, but Bailey ran all the way to the other end of the park as if his name was accredited to that goal. We go to Kimani. He has the coaches downstairs.
Thank you, Dean. I'm joined by head coach of Mount Pleasant, Coach Theodore Tapper Whitmore. Coach, you're used to being in finals. You're in another one now. But 6-1 is a large scoreline, Coach. Speak to me about the performance.
It was very important that we win this game and into the final. I think it was a good performance. We see some good stuff this afternoon, and even when we inject the youngsters, I think they came and they show a lot. I think they offer a lot to the game this afternoon, but I'm pleased with the performance overall.
Yeah, you're going into the final now against Molynes United, a team you know very well. We're expecting a different outcome maybe in this knockout competition. How excited are you for the final though?
I'm very excited, but every game they we play a tough game, so we look forward to a tough game from our opponent come Tuesday afternoon.
All right, thank you, Coach. All the best.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, that was Mount Pleasant head coach Theodore Tapper Whitmore. They're into the final and they set up a date with Molynes United. And I'm joined now by the leader of the Army men, the JDF head coach, Donovan Denninson Jr. Coach, wow, an emotional roller coaster this has been for the JDF team, especially given what happened yesterday at the Up Park camp. I'm not sure how much of that impacted the boys today, but speak to me about the performance. It must have been a tough one.
Yes, it was a tough one, but you know, playing the Caribbean champion and the third best team in the country, I know it would have been tough. You understand? However, you know, for the first half, you know, we put the ball down on the ground and, you know, we bounced around. See what Mount Pleasant have to offer. You understand? They get a goal. You know, we get back a goal a couple minutes after. You know, just that we want to see the first half out. You know, at 1-0, but unfortunately, you know, they get the go-ahead goal. You know, lead 2-1 going to the half. You know, my boys come back out in the second half. You know, and with a team like Mount Pleasant, when you're trailing, you know, it's always going to be tough. You understand? So, you know, it is a semi-final. We just have to go at it. So, best you beat me 3-1. Then I try to not get a goal. You understand? And then you see the scoreline. You know, the scoreline is not what we wanted, but, you know, such as football. And as I said before, playing against the Caribbean champion, honestly, you're going to up against it.
Yeah, Coach, your boys were really animated upon that second goal going in. There were some discussions with the referees. It seems like your boys weren't pleased with the second goal.
Well, I don't know what that was all about, you know, so I didn't ask. You know, what I did, I just try to get the boys in half time, you know, try to get them grounded, you know, talk about what happened in the first half and what we're going to do in the second half, you know. So I didn't ask, I didn't see it as anything because, you know, players are always going to go to referee for certain things, so I didn't ask any question about that, you understand, but, you know, it was a good game.
Well, Coach, you represented the JCF teams really well, the JFC teams that is, and we're looking forward to seeing you in the Popeyes Challenge Cup next year. Thank you, Coach.
Man, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, Kimani. Let's have a look at the numbers behind this game. Of course, the all-important numbers. Mount Pleasant 6, Jamaica Defence Force 1. There were 10 shots from 19 attempts on target from Mount Pleasant, 4 from 10 for JDF. Mount Pleasant had 2 corners with 57% of the possession. Some 25 fouls, producing 2 yellow cards for Mount Pleasant and 6 for the indisciplined Army men. And no red cards, no offsides. Those are the numbers. How about the Popeyes moment of the match? Popeyes moment of the match. And it's the equalizing goal at the time from JDF. Tejon Williams with a lovely strike. Even he had a second look at it. Here's a turn. Getting the better of an experienced Fitzroy Cummings and blasting that one beyond. Kemar Foster in goal. Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that. That's how we wrap things up here at the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex on this wet Saturday night in the island of Jamaica. Jamaica Defence Force, the David team left in the Popeyes Challenge Cup, eliminated by the biggest of them all, Mount Pleasant, the Caribbean champions. And the match on Tuesday will be the decider. It's another David versus Goliath matchup, you know. In the Premier League standings, they could be further apart, Molynes and Mount Pleasant. But with 90 minutes and a trophy to play for, any card can play. Dean Smith, commentator today, with me was Dwight Jeremiah. We wrap things up here and we say thanks for watching. And we give thanks as well to all the production team, the producers, the cameramen, and all those who make this broadcast possible. Have a good night. Thank you so much.
Popeyes Challenge Cup, powered by Popeyes, Lasco, Connex, Best Dressed Chicken, Red Stripe, Mackay Security.